Hello there and welcome back to another video, and today is going to be the start of our Euros coverage over the next couple of weeks until the tournament is done. Now, I did this a couple of years ago and it's going to be quite a similar sort of setup. I think it was for the 2016 Euros as well, and it was quite good. It was quite good. We're going to go for a little bit of an educational experience for myself and also for anybody else out there that might need to look at some of the teams that you maybe don't know about, or even some of the teams that we do know about, and get a bit more detail about them as well. Because let's be honest, we're not all experts, and I am certainly no expert whatsoever in every single nation that is taking part in this one. So it's going to be incredibly important for me to go through this all in its entirety as much as possible. So just before you get into this video, there is a good chance that it could be a long video. You'll know it by now anyway because it'll be uploaded. I don't know how long it's going to be. But we're going to go through a Meet the Teams, which is on the Euro 2020 website as well. You can go and check that one out, and I'll leave links for these things in the description below as well. And then there's also going to be a tournament predictor as well. Now, obviously, what I would like to say straight away is please don't be offended by any predictions that I make. We're going to go through the Meet the Teams first of all, and then I can make a bit more of a fairer judgment on things, but it will literally just be predictions. I'm certainly not going to be slating off any nations whatsoever. That's not the aim here. We're all just having a little bit of fun before the Euros comes back, and let's be honest, we're all missing football. We're missing football quite a bit. I know I am. Jesus Christ, I am. I really am, and let's get into this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you like this type of video after you've watched it, if there's anything that I can do leading up to the Euros, or when the Euros kicks off. Do I review every match or do I review every week? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So let's go straight into the educational side of this video. So we're going to be looking at Group A, and what this does is I will have to stop the videos that play on this website just so that I don't necessarily get the videos taken down. Not that I make any money off these videos, but even so, I don't want the video taken down. It could take a little bit of time getting these done anyway. So they've got some interesting fixtures. They've got a very good group as well. Turkey versus Italy is kicking off the Euros on Friday night. They've also got Wales and Switzerland in their group as well. The top scorer was Cenk Tosun, I think that's how you say his name, or Tosun. Their pedigree, semi-finals is their best in 2008. Group stage was the last one that they were in 2016. Six-time title-winning goalkeeper for Trabzonspor and Turkey, Güneş. If I butcher names, I really do apologise. Coached his country to a third-place finish at the FIFA World Cup in 2002. Won the championships. In charge of Besiktas prior to reprising his Turkey role in 2019. Burak Yilmaz, who I think plays for Lille, it's actually right there. Seems like he's had a really, really good season. He might be older than a lot of players at 35, but if you're banging goals in, you're banging goals in. That's all. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? Turkey's second highest international scorer has managed to goal every 2 games and is still banging them in. I like it. I like that they're using that terminology. And Hakan Çalhanoğlu, if I've said that name right, great. Great technique, long range shooting ability, and knuckleball expertise. If any of you haven't ever watched a free kick compilation video of Çalhanoğlu, go and do it. I don't care who it's against. I don't care what league it's in. It's just great to watch. It really, really is. Some of the ones that he's done is absolutely ridiculous. Plays for AC Milan. I think he's a free agent at the end of this season. I might be wrong on that one. As well. Turkey have qualified for 5 of the last 7 Euros, having made it to the finals for the first time in 1996. I think these guys have had an interesting run. I think Turkey, they've, in friendlies, maybe not the most recent friendlies, but definitely friendlies at some point, they've taken it to the Netherlands and they've taken it to France. I definitely know that much. And they made a game of it. Whether they won those games or not, I think they did beat the Netherlands 4-2. Whether they beat France or not, I can't actually remember. But these guys could make this tournament, and that group in general quite exciting and not as straightforward as you might think, with someone like Italy in there as well. Obviously, Italy have got a massive history and a plethora of players as well throughout history. Roberto Mancini. No, who was I going to say then? Martinez. No, Mancini. He was one of the best forward players of his generation. Didn't know that. Mancini is eager to sparkle as an international coach after winning club trophies in Italy, England and Turkey. Barella, the box-to-box midfielder, Sardinian-born and now a key part of Inter's Serie A winning side, 24 years old, full package, bringing tackling, technique, lots of energy and dangerous well-timed runs into the opposition box. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Not really a great deal that I know about Barella. Obviously, I play FIFA, and he's got a very good card on there. But FIFA isn't real life, so it's good to get some information there as well. Chiesa, or Federico Chiesa. Older readers will remember the name Chiesa from his father, from the Parma side of the late 90s. Federico's had a stellar first season with Juventus. He scored the winner in the Coppa Italia. Italy's flawless Euro qualifying campaign ended with a 9-1 win against Armenia in Palermo. It was their national record 11th straight victory, and gave them 10 wins in a calendar year for the first time, one more goal, and it would have also matched their biggest victory ever, 9-0 against the US. Interesting. Wales. Wales, for me, are pinning a lot of their hopes on Gareth Bale being fit and firing for this tournament, in my opinion. It's going to be really difficult, in my opinion, for these guys to... They could get out of the group. They definitely could get out of the group with Switzerland and Turkey in there, and Italy. It is a difficult group to manoeuvre. It's not like the final group, which is like France, Portugal, Germany and Hungary. It's not like that, but with the levels... Like, you would say that Italy would probably be expected to win the group. But aside from that, Turkey, Switzerland and Wales, it's going to be a toss-up for me between Turkey and Wales who gets that second spot. And I'm just not entirely sure who will get it. I'm really, really not. I think that Turkey overall have got better quality as an overall package than Wales. And obviously, Wales have Gareth Bale. If he is firing like he was for Spurs at the end of the season, scoring goals and getting involved, then yeah, it could be good for these guys, but it might not be. Ethan Ampadu, who... Ampadu, did he play for Sheffield United this season? I'm not entirely sure that he had a very good season overall. I know they got relegated, but it's not necessarily down to the singular players and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a difficult one for Wales. I don't think it's going to be straightforward for these guys whatsoever, but they could spring a surprise. They really could. They absolutely could spring a surprise. Switzerland, big man Shaqiri, and his team as well. Mbolo, that's going to be interesting. He was he was so highly touted years and years ago, and then he suffered a really bad injury, and then I think he's had successive injuries since then. And I've skipped a lot of things here, but I just saw Mbolo's name and I totally forgot about Mbolo. And I just think that could actually be quite something if, he as it says here, he's powerful, he's versatile, blessed with great pace. The 24-year-old is a handful, and that's good for them, but it's as long as he's actually gotten past his injuries and stuff like that as well, could be a real threat. Granit Xhaka doesn't have a great reputation in the Premier League with Arsenal. Arsenal fans are very, very divided on him in general. But for his national side, I think he's actually got quite a good standing with them, from what I know, which is very, very little, I will hold my hands up and say. But even so, I think in this group, it's going to be... If I'm going to predict this group right now, which I might actually go do that right now, let's do that. So we've set up this one here, which is the tournament predictor, and all we do is, and you can do this as well, I'll leave a link for both of these websites in the description below for you, and you can just pull these, the national badges, into what position you think that they're going to be in. Okay, so for me, I think it's going to be Switzerland in 4th, and then it's going to be, for me, Italy in 1st. Then we're going to be looking at Turkey and Wales, and honestly, I'm not so patriotic and stuff like that about England that I'm crapping on another nation that's in the UK. But I think it's going to be that. And we'll come back to all of these groups as well as the video goes on as well. But that's just how I feel when I look at all the things that I've looked at there, taking into consideration some things about the players that might be available and stuff like that as well. That's how I think that Group A is going to finish. Let me know what you think in the comments below as well if you do take part in this part as well. So we're going to move on, right? So we're going into Group B, and Group B is probably, apart from Belgium, probably one of the ones that I know the least about just in general, in terms of the actual players that are involved, how they do as a nation. So this is going to be a great one for me to look at here as well. Key player, Christian Eriksen, and probably Schmeichel as well in goal. 100 caps in the bag. He's still only 29. I don't know why I thought he was older. Still one of the world's best attacking midfielders. I'm not entirely sure how much game time he's had with Inter Milan. I think they were actually looking to possibly move him on. Possibly, I might have that wrong. We just haven't seen much of him feature since he left Tottenham for Inter Milan. Technical player who makes Denmark tick. I'm sure they'll have other players that they can rely on as well. Andreas Skov Olsen, the Bologna striker, has struck 3 goals and provided 4 assists in 179 minutes for Denmark, spread over 5 appearances. That's not bad, actually. That's actually really, really good. 5 appearances and 7 goal contributions. That's pretty decent. Denmark failed to qualify for Euro 92, but were drafted in 10 days before it started after Yugoslavia were excluded. Okay, fair enough. We move on to Finland. Now, Finland, I totally forgot. Teemu Pukki is will be their striker. It kind of changes things a little bit. As I say, this doesn't change the feelings of the rest of the whole team, because if I'm totally honest with you, I don't know the rest of the whole team. But the key player here being Pukki, I've seen Pukki. I've seen him play with Norwich. Obviously, he's done really, really well in the seasons that he's played with Norwich. The season that he got them up, even the season that they got relegated from the Premier League, and obviously they're going back up again this season as well. And honestly, I think he's just such a, might not be the most dynamic player, but his attacking positional sense and finishing ability, alright, it did wane a little bit when he was in the Premier League. It got to the second half of the season and didn't really kick on a great deal. But his finishing ability is brilliant. His attack positioning is great as well, and he'll be definitely someone to keep an eye on for any defence, whoever it is, whether it's Belgium or Denmark or Russia. It's going to be a difficult one for all of them. Fredrik Jensen, the 23-year-old Augsburg winger, has hit the ground running with the senior national team, developing a happy knack of chipping in with goals. That's going to be really useful for them as well. Belgium, what can you say about Belgium? To even pick out a key player in this Belgium team is quite something. It really is. It is quite something indeed. When you've got someone like a Romelu Lukaku, you've got the Hazard brothers. Even though Eden hasn't done a great deal at Real Madrid, still has the ability, and I believe he still has the ability and the quality to turn things on if he's available and if he's fit and ready to do so as well. But to pick out Kevin De Bruyne, obviously Kevin De Bruyne, he just got the the PFA Players Award for the second time in a row. Some people don't agree with it. That's up to them, whatever. But there's no doubt in Kevin De Bruyne's ability when it comes to scoring goals and also providing incredible assists as well. So yeah, and to have that in the midfield alongside loads of other players that have got so much quality, you would expect Belgium to top their group almost with ease, in my opinion. Anyway, one to watch, Yuri Tielemans. Yeah, I mean, what a banger he scored in the FA Cup final. Absolute top corner, just top corner, long driven shot. Absolutely magnificent. Really, really, really good. And a really good talented player. Good with both feet. He's good in in tight spaces in a midfield as well. He's got good passing, he's got good shooting, he's got good ability, just all round. Really, really good player. It's going to be really interesting to watch these guys take part in this group, because it's going to be something special, I think. Russia, genuinely don't know a lot about them apart from, I don't know how to say his name, Artem Dziuba. Is it Dziuba? Or I don't know if you pronounce the D or not. But yeah, qualifying top scorer with 9. Again, he seems to be the key player, tall centre forward, Russia's captain, top scorer amongst active internationals, getting closer to Alexander Kozhakov's record of 30. I hope that's said right as well. And one to watch is Alexander Sobolev. The 24-year-old won his first cap in a 2-1 friendly defeat by Sweden in October, with Ziuba now 32. The tall Spartak Moscow, must be Spartak Moscow, striker is seen by many as his natural successor. So it seems that they've got some good goal scorers with them as well, with a blend of youth. That's quite interesting. So we've gotten to the end of that group now. So let's head over and go and do our group prediction for this one as well. So for me, it's going to be that. It's going to be Belgium. And then I think, genuinely, even with Pukki, I would expect Finland to be there. No offense to any Finland fans or Finland people from Finland or anything like that. It's just how I feel after reading the information. And then I would possibly expect it to be Russia in third and Denmark in second. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with that? Am I totally wrong? Am I off the ball? Please let me know it in the comments below. I know that you will. I know that you will. Let's move on to Group C. The Netherlands is kicking this one off first. And this group has got the Netherlands, the Ukraine, Austria, and North Macedonia in it as well. So obviously the Netherlands are going to be missing some players as well. They're going to be missing Virgil van Dijk and Donny van der Beek. I do know that one for certain. A key player is going to be Gini Wijnaldum. Big old Jorginho Wijnaldum. Ah, what a player. Love him. He excels. It says it right here, but whenever he went on international duty from Liverpool and goes on international duty, like, he'd come back. I think there was one game, wouldn't it be the first one he scored or something like that, where he scored a hat-trick or something like that, and you just see in a more attacking role, Gini Wijnaldum seems to thrive. Like, he gets forward, scores a lot of goals, scored important goals for Liverpool as well. But yeah, he's going to be very, very good. I think he's going to be the captain as well, with the absence of Virgil van Dijk. And one to watch is Matthijs de Ligt, captain of Ajax at 19. Haven't really heard a great deal about him since he moved to Juventus. Struggled in his first season. Not sure how he's really developing or moving into his role at Juventus a great deal, but will still be a key part of that defence as well, especially in place of an injured Virgil van Dijk, or a Van Dijk that has decided that he wasn't going to go to the tournament. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be quite something. They missed out on Euro 2016 and the World Cup as well. It's their longest absence from major finals since the mid-80s, when they marked their return by winning Euro 88. So, could the Dutch be dark horses in this whole Euros setup? I'm not sure. The Ukraine. Coach is Andrei Shevchenko. Is it? I didn't know he was coach. Fair play. Key player, Ruslan Malinovsky. Thanks to his excellent distribution and ability to retain possession, create space and glide between the lines, not to mention his venomous shot from distance, Atalanta's versatile left-footed midfielder has a huge impact on Ukraine's approach. Cool. Victor Sigankov, I think that's how you would say it. The Dynamo Kiev man has tough competition, as Yarmolenko and Marlos can both fill his favoured position on the Ukraine right wing, yet he continues to carve out a niche. Don't know what that niche is because it doesn't explain, but fair play. First time Ukraine have qualified for the Euros directly. They made it as co-host in 2012 and beat Slovenia in the playoffs to reach the 2016 event. Fair play. Seems like they might be quite strong then. Austria. So, key player, David Alaba, of course. Of course he is. Alaba recently left Bayern for Real Madrid as one of the most decorated footballers in Bundesliga history. But David Alaba is possibly one of the most versatile high-level players that I've known in recent times. Someone who can play defence, can play at left back, could probably play at right back as well, could play in midfield as a DM, can go forward and attack. Like, he just seems to have everything. Wherever he wants to go on a pitch, he can go and do it. Like, and that's that leadership that he will have from being able to do that is going to be very, very key for these guys. Konrad Lehmer, RB Leipzig, I believe. He missed most of the season through injury. Energetic performances in the warm-up friendly against England showed he's ready for the Euro 2020. Strong in the tackle and adept on the ball. 24-year-old will act as a fulcrum in the heart of Austria's midfield. Could be really, really quite something. Marko Arnautovic obviously played in the CSL. I think it was the CSL Chinese League. Might have that one wrong. Don't know if he's still there or not. But yeah, they've got some talent anyway. Definitely got some talent. Maybe some more talent than the Ukraine. But who knows? I definitely don't know. And then North Macedonia. So Goran Pandev. He plays in Serie A, I think it is. Just finished his 20th season in Italy. Jesus. 37 years old, but his powers of creativity, vision and passing are undimmed. Pandev is North Macedonia's captain, record scorer and record appearance maker, and fired them to the finals with a playoff winner in Georgia. So basically all things go through Pandev. That sounds like a good idea. Just 21, Eljif Elmas, and earmarked as Pandev's long-term successor as a fulcrum of the national team. Blessed with vision beyond his years, the Napoli midfielder is a master of distribution who doesn't shirk the physical side of the game. So quite a good all-rounder in midfield as well. So we are now at the end of Group C, and having taken all of that into consideration, we're going to go and do our Group C predictions, which are just down here. Now, it's going to be a difficult one. I don't know if it is going to be a difficult one. I think that the Euro 2020 website is doing a good job of keeping it equal, in terms of hyping teams and nations and stuff like that. But I think that Group C is going to go like this. We're going to go with Netherlands top, Austria in second, Ukraine third, and unfortunately North Macedonia, in Group C at the bottom there. That's how I think it would go, off reading everything here. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below about that one. We move back on over to our Group D. Not really gonna go through a great deal of all of this information, because obviously as an English person and stereotypically an England fan, there's more to it than the team, in my opinion. Yes, key player Harry Kane, he's had an absolutely incredible season. 33 goals, 17 assists in all competitions. Incredible. He's going to be absolutely incredible. Jude Bellingham, it's great to see him in there. It's really great to see someone like that, get in there as well. He's just a brilliant player for someone so young. Really, really good player. Lots of talent in this team, and there's lots of talent in every position in this team as well. The problem for me is going to be Gareth Southgate and the way that he sets up the team. There's a lot of times where you feel we could go more attacking, we could change the way that we approach games, but more than likely than not is that we're going to end up starting with a 5 at the back and then just sort of hope a little bit. So maybe like a 5-2-3 or something like that. And it could work, but it might not work. What will end up happening is that we'll have 7 defensive players, and then the 3 at the top will just have to sort of maybe fish for scraps, or we will hold possession a lot and maybe not necessarily penetrate as much as we should or cause as much damage as we should. Right now, Harry Kane is, without a doubt, take away what happened with Spurs this season, he's definitely in his prime. He's hitting goals after goal after goal. But it's going to be down to, can they actually get him service? Is the service going to be right? Is the right combination of players going to be right as well? Or is it going to come down to Gareth Southgate preferring to choose some name players over players that are more in form? That's what could let us down and doesn't make this group as straightforward as some people think it is. People think that we're going to top the group in this one. I don't. We're going to move on to Croatia. Croatia were a team that beat us in the World Cup as well and put us out at the semi-final stage, I believe it was. Obviously, key player here, Luka Modric, Ballon d'Or winner, and he's still, to this day, even with Real Madrid, still a very important cog, still very important midfielder, and still a very good midfielder as well. Andrej Kramaric, I think, striker, scoring. He had an excellent season with Hoffenheim, scoring 20 Bundesliga goals, poses a threat everywhere in the final third. And Niko Kovac, which I can't remember, was he like a coach or in the Bundesliga or something, has compared him with Davor Šuker, yet to reach his peak with Croatia. Croatia have quite an underrated squad in my opinion, in terms of like, general perception. But they've got great midfielders, strong defensively. They've got good forwards as well. I expect Croatia to top the group in this one. Scotland, Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, Billy Gilmore, John McGinn. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched Scotland play in a long, long time, so I don't actually know what their style of play is like. But they've still got actually some really good players. John McGinn being someone who's got good quality in terms of his running, his passing ability, his ability to sit, his vision as well. And he just never stops. And I don't know whether this is a feature of the modern Scotland team, but when you look at the likes of a John McGinn, and Andy Robertson, a Kieran Tierney, it's all about non-stop action. Just non-stop. Always keep going. Keep that engine running and run it as hard as you can. I think that could be something to look out for with these guys as well. And also, they won't make it easy for England. They definitely won't. While on paper we have the much more talented squad, will these guys try and run us into the ground? Most likely, in my opinion. Billy Gilmore, one to watch from Chelsea. Cameo appearances in the pre-tournament friendlies against Netherlands and Luxembourg. Might be tempted to start the young playmaker, but more likely he'll be kept in reserve, expecting to make an impact when he gets the opportunity. I don't think that Scotland will be last in this group, and I think if they get a good run at the teams that they come up against, could they make it out of the group? Who knows? Czech Republic. So, key player Vladimir Darida, all-action midfielder who plies his trade at Hertha Berlin, leads by example and inspired the surprise qualifying victory over England. One to watch, Tomáš Souček. The beating heart of the Czech midfield redefines what it means to have good feet for a big man. He's starred so well with West Ham this season as well. Since he's been at West Ham, he's been the player that you look at just you are the standout player. They've got some very good players at West Ham and they played some really good football. Got into the top 6 this season, which I would never have predicted that to happen. Even with everything that happened in this season, how it's all played out, I never would have predicted that West Ham would be in the top 6. They've done very well and he is a very key part of it. So, we have now got to the end of our group over here. We're going to look at Group D. The way I see it going is Croatia will top the group. These guys will be at bottom of the group. And I think that England should be looking to get qualified, and that should be how it will be. But you could see something like this, and I obviously hope that we don't. But it entirely depends a lot on Gareth Southgate. A lot is on his shoulders of how we actually perform in these group games and make sure that we go out and attack teams. That is all I want to see, is us to attack teams and just do it properly. Go out there, take it seriously, and do the very best that we can. Now we're going to move on to the final 2 groups. Group E, Spain, Sweden, Poland and Slovakia. Spain look like the front runners. You can pick a key player, the key player they've gone with is Gerard Moreno, the guy who was, I think he scored in the Europa League final as well, but scored 30 goals for Villarreal as well this season. I think in all competitions as well. Very good player. Pedri from Barcelona as well. He's a very young talent, 18, slender, relatively small, and in only their first full season can become the dominant midfielder at a club such as Barcelona. His football intellect is frankly incredible, and that could be someone to watch as well. Whether he gets much game time or not, I have absolutely no idea. Sergio Ramos, and I don't think any Real Madrid player is actually going to the Euros from what I remember. But this Spain team is playing particularly well at the moment. A lot more pass and move, a lot more accurate passes, fast passes, intense as well. So it just depends whether they've got the guy up front to actually put the ball in the back of the net. Whether they go with Rodrigo from Leeds or if it's going to be Alvaro Morata. Who knows? But if they can get everything right up front, these guys will be dangerous throughout the whole tournament. A lot of people are tipping Spain to win the whole thing. I'm not sure I'm there yet, but we will move on. We're going on to Sweden now, and I don't think... Is Ibrahimovic injured? Because he did get called back up, and I'm not sure whether he's going, because there's nothing on here that says about Ibrahimovic, but I'm pretty sure he might be injured, which could be a big loss for these guys. Emil Forsberg from RB Leipzig, pacey, creative, physically strong. He will shoulder much of the responsibility for Sweden's attack. He is a fine shot and is one of the likely free kick takers, along with Sebastian Larsson. Christopher Olsen, slight of frame, the Krasnodar midfielder has a toolbox full of dribbles and smart passes that are as effective as they are easy on the eye. Interesting. Sounds good. Qualifying top scorer Robin Quaison. I think he plays in the Bundesliga. I think. Not entirely sure. We move on to Poland. And obviously the key player here, it's Lewandowski. Lewandowski, Poland's most capped player and all-time leading marksman. The Bayern striker remains one of the game's most lethal predators. He's just an absolute goal machine. Like an absolute goal machine for Barcelona, and I would expect him, if he gets the right service with the right players around him in Poland, in the Poland setup, he should also be looking to score quite a few goals against the teams that they're in this group as well. Jakub Moder, the Brighton midfielder, is still establishing himself at the age of 22, but has a reputation for finding the net from distance, and scored his first competitive goal for Poland against England at Wembley in March. Of course he did. Błaszczykowski is Poland's all-time Euro top scorer with 3 goals. Lewandowski needs 1 more goal to match him. Fair play. Obviously, top qualifying goal scorer is Lewandowski as well. I hope that, you know, even for Lewandowski just himself, I hope they do well. Slovakia, a team that I don't know a great deal about, but obviously key player, as it has up here as well, Marek Hamšík. Used to play for Napoli, I think, and then he moved to another league. I want to say it's the CSL, but I'm not 100% sure. Most capped player and all-time top scorer, 33-year-old captain, remains the heart of the national team. Now at Swedish club Göteborg. Hamšík dictates play from midfield with enduring energy and stamina. It's hard to imagine a successful Slovakia side without him. One to watch is Tomáš Suslov. I told my father I would play with Marek Hamšík one day, said the winger, and the 18-year-old was proved right last November. That's quite something, isn't it? Picked up from the Tatron Prešov Academy, Groningen's young wide man shows immense promise. Fair play. I think this plays out quite easily, in my opinion, in terms of the top 2. For me, it would have to be Spain and Poland in that order, and then I would expect it to be Sweden in 3rd, and these guys, Slovakia, in 4th. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we move on to the final group, which is going to be Group F. And obviously, this is the group that everyone is going to be looking at. Obviously, the first team that we've got coming up here is Hungary, but in this whole group is Hungary, Portugal, France, and Germany. It's not an easy one at all for Hungary, and people are already looking at these guys as being out already. They're going to be in 4th position, and it's hard to argue with it, to be honest, when their qualifying top scorer is Willi Orban, a centre-back in the Bundesliga. Quite something. And it says here that he is the key player, Willi Orban. Strong in the tackle, Leipzig centre-back, no-nonsense defender who also offers a real threat at the other end of the pitch, obviously, as he's their top scorer. One to watch is Roland Salai. Winger or second striker, Salai comes into this Euro on the back of a breakthrough Bundesliga season with Freiburg, 8 goals and 6 assists, with a great international hit rate leading up to the finals. He is a fine foil for captain Adam Shalai. I'll be honest with you, it's not looking great for them in this particular group. If they were in another group that might have had a bit more of a fair spread of teams, then maybe, but I don't think that it's going to be the year for Hungary let's be honest. Portugal. To pick a key player, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo is going to top the bill for a lot of players, for a lot of people. And without doubt, I mean, the guy's what? He might be 36, as it says here, but the guy is still scoring goals left, right, and centre. You know, scores. He's the top qualifying goal scorer for Portugal with 11. But Portugal has a depth of talent pretty much almost everywhere. Even if you look at like Diogo Jota for Liverpool, Bruno Fernandes with Manchester United, so many others, even Jose Font, centre back with Lille. And I can't remember how old Jose Font is, but still playing well, still having a good season there as well. I think they could have either Lopez or Rui Patricio in goal. Like there's options for these guys. There's a lot of talent in there, and obviously you can never discount a team that has Cristiano Ronaldo in it as well. And also the other one to watch, João Felix. As an attacking player of majestic skill, the Atletico Madrid man is the latest star to bolster a Portuguese side laden with talent. He made his senior debut at 19 in Portugal's triumphant 2019 UEFA Nations League finals campaign. Ridiculous talent. Speaking of ridiculous talent, France. France have so many incredible players. I'm not even going to list any of them. I'm really not, because you know them already. With Kylian Mbappe being the key player that is picked out, you could have picked anybody. You really could have picked anybody. The amount of talent that France have, like, they should be winning the Euros. They should be winning the Euros. And one to watch, Kingsley Coman, missed out on the FIFA World Cup triumph because of injury. He's got extra motivation. Could mean Deschamps' desire to balance the side could mean the Bayern speedster having to content himself with a bench role. But even then, imagine that. Say if they got like you've got an Mbappe and a Griezmann and whoever else playing, and then coming off the bench is a Kingsley Coman. Like that's like Man City level squad depth. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Germany. Key player Thomas Muller. 2.5 years after being cut to make room for a rebuild, Germany have recalled Muller, a vocal leader with vast experience. He's only 31? Jeez. He's just an absolute machine. Absolute machine. And, you know, they've got such other talented players as well that they can choose from, like a Leroy Sané, like it's got on here. Serge Gnabry, top qualifying goal scorer with 8. You got Kai Havertz as well. Kevin Volland with Monaco. Again, another team that is filled with talent, with experience, with winners. Same with France. France have got a lot of winners in there as well. They won the World Cup. Germany have got a lot of winners. They've got a lot of experience as well. So, with that being said, let's move over to the group predictor. It's going to be really difficult to put someone in third, but it's not difficult to put someone in fourth, and I apologise to Hungary. It really isn't anything personal or anything like that. It's just how I see things from how this group is shaped and how it's put together. I do think that this is how it's going to go. To top the group, I've got France, and then it's between Portugal and Germany. And in my opinion, just on the levels of quality, if I'm taking an entire team all together, I've got to put Germany in second and Portugal in third. So there we have it. You know, and I'll just leave these up here for just a second, but I'm going to give you a prediction now for the whole tournament. What I would expect is a lot of very entertaining games across all the groups, across all match days, but when it comes down to who's going to be in the final, genuinely, this is how I feel. I think that the final will be contested between Belgium and France. And who's going to win that final? Two teams that are absolutely stacked with talent, with exceptional players. I'm going to go with Belgium. I'm going to go with Belgium to win the entire thing. I'm not a betting man. I don't put bets on. But I'm going to go with Belgium. Not just because it's different, but I think when it comes down to it, I think maybe this year Belgium will want it to be their year. And I think they've got the talent to do it as well. I think they've got the setup to do it. I think they've got the attacking play to do it as well. But I wouldn't also be surprised if Spain is up there as well. It does mean I don't think that it is coming home. And I don't take great pleasure in saying that. I just don't think it is coming home. It's not coming home to England. And that is just my thought, just right there, honestly, with you. So, that is my Euros video. It is a long video. I do appreciate that. And I know it's gone through a lot of different things than I expected to go through as well. But I do hope that you've enjoyed the video if you've made it all the way through this video. And do feel free to make your predictions and stuff like that as well. I will leave the links for both the Meet the Teams and also the Predictor. I'll leave those both in the links in the description below as well. And you can have your say on what you think the end of the Euros will be, and also the group stage and stuff like that as well. But hey, thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you're new around here as well. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. Please do have a wonderful day. Hope you have a good week as well, and let's get ourselves ready for the Euros kicking off. I'll catch you later.